Hello, and welcome to Ruminations on Skyrim, the rights to ownership, and the failure of representative democracy. I'll start with Skyrim, which then links into the rights to ownership, not representative democracy. That'd be very, very odd if I linked the two. So I got Skyrim, and it's amazing. I mean, the previous game, Oblivion, was awesome. I mean, if I'm looking on my Steam, I've got 122, I think it says, 122 hours logged. That's me and my brother, but, you know, still a fair amount of time. But when you play Skyrim, Oblivion just looks absolutely horrible in comparison. It's just such a massive improvement. The graphics are better. They look almost real, but not so real that, you know, they look uncanny valley style, like kind of that Tintin movie that just came out. The battle system's far improved, and there's no blood and stuff, which, you know, just appeals to my sense of enjoying killing imaginary creatures, which is great. And it's got so much more stuff to do. I mean, there's so much more variation rather than in Oblivion. It would just be, there is this guild and this guild and this guild and this guild, and you do all their quests, and at the end, you're the head of the guild. But in this one, there's, you know, guilds, still all the guilds, and then you've got factions. You can join two different armies, a rebel army and like the Imperial Legion army, and then you go and take towns and stuff, and it's amazing. And then of course it has dragons, and you can kill dragons and breathe fire and be like a dragon, but not quite, but it's awesome. Yay. Gotta love Skyrim. However, I link onto rights to ownership because me and my brother paid half each for a copy of the PC version of Skyrim, which I believe I have here. There we go. Skyrim, games for Windows. There it is. Now the problem is, we both paid half for it, hoping we'd be able to on our computers. But no, because it has Steamworks DRM, which basically means that one of us could install it onto our Steam account, and that was it. Now that's a problem, because we both have different Steam accounts, and unless we were willing to go through really complicated, and one of us played online, one of us played offline, that might not even have worked, we were going to, you know, be pretty much stuffed. Now, this is the problem I think. Right, you want to stop piracy. Fine, I suppose. I mean, if you want the money from things, I suppose fair enough that the company, they put a lot of money into making these things, they want the revenue. But when you start putting things like this, treating everyone like they're going to get it and upload it onto Pirate Bay, because I tweeted Pete Hines, who's the marketing executive, something like that, at Bethesda, who made Elder Scrolls games, and I was immediately met with a load of responses when I said it wasn't fair, like, oh yeah, but you were just going to throw it onto Pirate Bay, or, you know, well yeah, but it's fair enough, you know, right, entitlement much, you don't own that. It's like, well surely if I pay money for it, I own it. The copy of the game is free to all of it. Fair enough. If you put it onto Pirate Bay, maybe think of something else to. Come on, no. If you put it onto Pirate Bay, think of something else to do. Don't let them like keep it, take it away, find them, something like that. If you're so desperate to end piracy, but don't treat everyone like they're going to put it onto Pirate Bay, because it just ruins people's enjoyment. Because my brother had to go and pay 35 quid to download it on Steam, which took about 10 hours because of the massive demand on the servers. Well, instead, you could both have installed this. We paid for it, it's ours, we should be allowed to install it on two computers. Simple really, isn't it? Finally, I move on to the failure of representative democracy, by really which I mean another one of Barnaby's crazy ideas he wants to voice to you. Now, we don't really have a democracy in this country. In fact, this very morning I was told by a teacher at my school, every 5 years you tick a little X in a box, well I don't, but adults do, in a sort of wooden arrangement, and then the government spend 5 or 10 years, depending on whether they're re-elected, ignoring everything they promised they were going to do to get people to tick their X in the box. So really, what I think we really need to do is return to a monarchy system. We have a monarchy system, but it's a bit rubbish because they don't really have much actual power. They just kind of walk around eating swan and getting in trouble by going into nightclubs dressed as Nazis. Which is fair enough, I suppose, if you're that rich and got much else to do. Anyway, what I'm suggesting we do is, we have a number of various dignitaries apply for the role of king. We vote for them. After a king is elected, he reigns until eventually a member of his line dies without issue. That's children, if you didn't know. Or any direct heirs. Then, we call a new election. We elect someone else to be king, and then we carry on with that. And we have various things like, you know, if the king proved to be a horrendous tyrant who's doing horrible things, his advisors are allowed to, you know, try and call another election. But if that doesn't work, if they all just immediately vote people they don't like, vote out people they don't like, then we just rip up the Magna Carta entirely and go, suck it, we go absolute monarchy now. Ha. See, I like the idea of an absolute monarchy. I'd be far more patriotic if our country had retained some kind of monarchy with power, and all the countries we'd conquered we didn't give back to the native people. Because if we held on to that, it'd be something to be proud of. We've built this vast empire. I know we're kind of subjugating all these countries, but ho-hum, that's by the by. I don't really believe that, by the way. I just thought it'd be quite a funny thing to say. But I still think we should seriously think about returning to some kind of different system to the one we have nowadays, because it really is just whoever tells the best lies wins, and then gets to undo the things that all the last parties did, because we never vote the same party in for that long. I mean, we've had Labour for what, 10 years? No, 13 years. But then all the Tories are really doing is just going, oh yes, Labour policies, yeah, bye, yeah, no, all Tory policies. Next time the Labour will be voted back in, and they'll go, oh, Tory policies, no, ooh, Labour policies. And the cycle will continue until eventually the world ends, or I take over by seizing Bolivia lithium supply and being in a position to make extreme demands. I might crown myself king, actually, and carry on with that system. Yeah. Watch this space. Anyway, thanks for watching me ramble. I'm liking me making videos less often. It seems to make people, you know, more fond of watching them rather than having a constant bombardment of me every week. It's, you know, it's an occasional treat. Bye! Quick postscript. If any of you heard about my bust up with UFEM, that was quite funny, wasn't it? Well, at least they agreed not to talk about it anymore.